We just know he was shot, and they found him in front of a hotel. So, you know, I ain't never told nobody this, but me and my brother, two of my brothers, went and kidnapped his girlfriend, cause we didn't know. We thought she had set him up.
Can you introduce yourself for us and where you from?
I'm Daoud King Carter, and I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, west side to be exact.
For sure, man. My man Carter, man. You know, business friend, personal friend. You know.
Yeah.
Been kind of knowing you what? Let's say like 2.5, almost 3.
Feel like it's been 3, 4.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
I know my little man about to be about 2.
Yeah.
So definitely probably longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, shoot, man. I'm glad to have you on the show. We're gonna start off, man. You know, me and you always have a personal connection and relationship outside of business. If you can, man, you know, give us a brief, you know, like insight on your childhood.
My childhood was dope. My childhood was super dope. What part of it? Cause it's like that's a very broad question.
Okay. Describe what was it like in your household growing up.
My household was full of love. My mama was the GOAT. She did everything that she's supposed to do. Sacrificed a lot. You know, my mama was one of them people one of those parents that was like focused on being a great parent. I never seen her drink. I didn't hear her cuss till I was like 16. It was like she was dope, but she worked all the time. So
For sure. Can you describe the relationship with your father?
We ain't really got too much of a relationship. I ain't really talked to him or see him when I was growing up. So, you know, it's hard to like kind of like build that type of relationship, even though I want to when you're older. You know what I'm saying? I had I ain't get my heart towards him because he wasn't around, but, you know, getting old, I kind of understand some of the stuff.
For sure. Like, do you know why he wasn't around? Like, did you ever see your mother and father together, or was he just never like around since you?
I don't remember. I seen them together, but I don't remember. I can't recall it. But he wasn't around because of work. He chose his career. You know what I'm saying? He was in the Army and the services, and he chose to stay there, and do different things and travel the world and do that. So, you know, some people career driven, some people family driven. So.
For sure. Do you ever have any moments where you kind of can recall, you know, talking to your mom, asking her about your dad's whereabouts, or, you know, the dynamic of the separation between you and him?
Yeah, my mom did a real great job, but even though I know how she feel now, because we done talked about it that we grown, but now that I'm grown, but she did a real good job at like not saying anything negative about my dad. And when I asked her, you know, what's up with my pop, why he don't come around a lot, she was like, he working. And she'll go talk to him, and that's when I found out that he really chose his career over his children, because he wrote me a letter and actually told me that in the letter, that right now his job is the most important thing to him.
How old were you when you got that letter?
I was probably about 8 or 9. I was old enough cause I've been grown, I've been adult, I feel like, since I've been 5 years old, but you know, I received it, and I was like, damn. I knew how it made me feel. I was like, I don't never want my kids to feel like that.
So like that moment, like how many siblings do you have first off?
Well, me in the household I grew up in, it was just me and my sister with my mom, and then my dad had 2 other kids that was in Charlotte. That was my sister Hassan and my sister Naja. My brother Naja. So, but I grew up with my sister Asia. So.
For sure. Did your mom ever remarry or date again that you seen during that time? You growing up?
Yeah. She She actually dated for a while, and she ended up getting remarried. Yeah, she did.
For sure. And you know, as a man, myself as a father, you as a father, I know at some point, you know, we was once kids, and yearning for that relationship with your pops, you know,
Yeah.
is essential to any child's growth, but especially like a little boy. That moment that you read that letter, like, did anything change for you mentally, just like moving forward, just from, you know, previous times of just having your questions and stuff like that?
Nah, I think that letter affected me more. This is gonna sound crazy. Later on in life, when I watched that episode of Fresh Prince where his
You don't
where
want me
his
no more.
dad did,
For sure.
you know what I'm saying? Really rock with him, really fuck with him. So
For sure. Yeah, no, that one was a tough one for sure. So boom, fast forward. So you did have a male figure in your household.
nah, when my mom got remarried, my stepdad at that time was like he was some bullshit. So he did some real foul shit, and he ended up going to prison. And my mama just never felt comfortable bringing anybody else to stay in the house with her kids, with me or my sister. So she ended up being in a relationship after that for a long time, but they didn't move in with each other until we was grown. And so.
For sure, for sure. So you kind of like, is it safe to say that you kind of like had to assume kind of the position of like the man in the house to some degree?
I did. It ain't even kind. I did.
What was one of your first like experiences that you remember that is like, okay, damn, like I got to step up around here?
When I was mad because I only got $100 for school shopping. You know what I'm saying? I think I was in the 4th or 5th grade. I was a little nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I went and borrowed my people's lawnmower, my neighbor's lawnmower, and went out and started cutting grass so I can get some money and buy some food, and you know what I'm saying, and do stuff like that. So I was a real jit when I jumped off the porch.
For sure. So that desire to, you know, want to have, you know, more money and just to be able to do really the basics.
It came from getting picked at.
Right.
Like I remember, I'll never forget, I finally got me a pair of real, like I used to go to Target and get shoes. I remember I finally got me a pair of Nikes, and they were just like probably the most simple Nikes that was ever made.
But they was Nikes though.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm coming to school. I'm like, yeah, I got me some Nikes on. I remember everybody laughing at me like, damn, you think you the shit now because you got some Nikes? Them ain't even Nike Airs. Them just say Nike. Them shit's whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got the first pair of Nike Jeepers. Like, that's what they was telling me. So I was just, you know, that kind of, that feeling that I felt, getting laughed at kind of fueled me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to be broke again and look broke again and all that shit. And I've been hustling since I was a jit, bro.
For sure, for sure. Speaking of hustling, we know in kind of the environments that a lot of us come from,
Right.
Especially coming from single parent households, for example, like living with our moms and stuff, and, you know, being little boys and even some little girls growing up, you know, had a desire to want to have more. Some people assume hustling in another form of fashion other than the honest way, such as, you know, trying to sell drugs or whatever they feel like is best.
Man, hustling is hustling, bro.
Right. At any point, did you feel like you had faced any challenges where, you know, trying to get yourself together growing up, that the choices wasn't always, you know, the right thing to do, quote unquote?
Yeah, I definitely had challenges. And I definitely did a lot of things that wasn't the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? I came from that. I did a lot. But yeah, I faced some challenges. You know, I think we all do. Especially as like a young black male, you be influenced by not just your surroundings, but by what you listen to. You know what I'm saying? What you watch, you know, what you feel like is okay. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I felt like there wasn't no other choice but to get out there and take one type of rap if I was considered to be me. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like that was part of me, like this journey, and to really do become what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So then you try to figure out how to get out of this shit. Then sometimes it be too late for some people, sometimes it don't.
For sure. What was that first time you took that risk and you was like, damn, like this serious?
So like I took like real risk since I like
Yeah.
like I don't want to, I guess it's too late to type of like incriminate myself, but I've been, you know what I'm saying, I've been thugging my whole life, if you want to say it like that. Like I've been out there just, just hustling. And the first time I felt that like that hustle was like when I found out that I was smarter than a lot of people. So I used to, like I told you, cut grass. And I figured out that when grass is kind of moist and it dries up, it looks like regular weed. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that the kids around me didn't really know what weed was. So I used to take the grass from up under the lawnmower, break it off, put it in little, back then they had little nickel bags and dime bags and shit like that. And I used to just sell it at school, fake weed. You know what I'm saying? That was, I started that in the 6th grade. You know what I'm saying? And
finesse game, free band.
Yeah, so I was, you know what I'm saying, but eventually I started mixing real weed with the fake weed, you know what I'm saying, and putting going buying some real weed and just putting it, sprinkling it. I might get make a fake little ounce of egg or grass, and then, you know what I'm saying, and sprinkle the shit over it, but for the smell. But it just, that was my first hustle.
For sure.
Besides the grass, you know what I'm saying, cutting grass as a jit. That was my first one.
For sure. So by the time, let's say you walking into manhood, adulthood, like I said, we spoke about the relationship, growing up with your mom and your father.
Right.
You had kids of your own.
Right.
What was that first time like, and how old were you when you found out you was about to be a dad?
I was 15. You know what I'm saying? I was 15, and it just gave me an excuse to keep hustling. You know what I'm saying? That was like I was working it for real. It gave me an extra battery in my back to, you know what I'm saying, get out here and do shit where I probably would have made more money working. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely put that type of excuse in my back to like, oh yeah, nah, I got a jet on the way. Oh nah, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get
right. Right. And at 15, it's not a lot that we know some, but it's not a lot at 15 years old.
Nah.
Knowing the circumstances between your mother and your father, coming about you having a kid, what was the relationship like with your first child's mom?
It was a growing relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of stuff that my first son seen that my other two would never see. You know what I'm saying? Right, he got to witness a lot of stuff. He was in the house when we was shooting out in front of the house. You know what I'm saying? He done been in the car and with pounds in the car, you know what I'm saying, and getting pulled over and stuff, and then not just on my side, but on his mama's side too. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was like, but this is the type of things that back then I thought was regular. He watched me do other hustles and try to mimic me when I was, you know what I'm saying, when he was a little one. You know what I'm saying? He used to, hey, I can't wait till I get one of them, blah, blah, and do this and do that. And it was crazy. But, our relationship different because it's a best friend type relationship and a father-son type relationship. So it's like we got the dynamic of both. And he followed in the same footsteps as the entertainment footsteps, and he a workaholic like me. So it's just like, it's a dope, super dope relationship.
For sure. How many kids do you have in total?
I got 3.
3.
I got 3.
Okay.
I got Zay, you know what I'm saying, superstar artist, Zay the GOAT. I got Amaria, that's my, my princess, my heart, she make me milk. And I got my youngest, that, the newest addition to the family, Nasir. So.
For sure. How old are you today?
38.
Okay, I didn't know if you was gonna give me the politically
Nah,
correct.
I'm
Try to
38.
tell you 29.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, bro, I didn't think I was gonna live to see 25.
For
So,
sure.
so being able to get up here and say for real, I'm 38.
For sure.
Man.
For sure. As a father who has explained that, you know, the adjustment and, you know, growth
Right.
in your fatherhood, that you know, how, as you mentioned, your first child seeing, you know, the process of you growing.
Right.
And, you know, your other two kind of, I mean, we always all still growing, but, you know, kind of see a different light inside of you.
Right.
What can you say as a father and as a man, as a black man, what was your biggest challenge? What is the biggest challenge in your fatherhood?
Being wrong. That's the biggest challenge, and that's the biggest fear, is you telling your kids or guiding kids in the direction that ain't right. So that's my biggest challenge.
What do you do in moments? Because, you know, we all, like I said, we all had challenges.
Right.
Man, woman, black, white, whatever.
Right.
What do you do in those moments when you feel like you just don't have the answer?
Pray. What else you supposed to do?
Sure.
Like, cause I mean, like, my relationship with God is my number one priority. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I can't pray about it, I ain't doing it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I pray, cause I don't never had the right answers. God had answers. You know what I'm saying? He just used me to say it.
Right. For sure. 100%. And just understanding the dynamic of family and how, like, you know, we're living in some times right now where, you know, the black household, in a sense, is kind of being threatened from my
Right.
perspective. Just, you know, in a lot of different ways.
A lot of different ways.
You married.
Yeah.
You married.
Yeah, I'm married.
For sure.
Shout out to my wife. You know
For
what I'm saying? She's sitting in the corner probably looking at me. I can't see because there's light on me, but shout out to my beautiful wife.
For sure. How does somebody who, you know, whether, you know, your mom has had a relationship, you know, after your dad or
Right.
vice versa, how does someone who hasn't seen their biological parents, you know, to their memory fully together, what did you do different in, you know, moving forward to creating your own family and finding the woman that's for you?
Well, my mom and my dad relationship was, you know what I'm saying, was one out of my grandma's 5 kids that didn't work. So all my aunts and uncles, I seen that. All my aunts and uncles were married. My grandma and my granddad was married until I was for a long time. And then when they got divorced, they both got remarried. And so I seen relationships. I seen unhealthy relationships in my family, and I seen healthy relationships in my family. And, you know, I just learned from that. And then I don't always follow. I'm a thinker. I'm a leader, so I don't always follow what's just in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never had a young nigga mind. A young nigga mind is only looking at, like, what's right there in front of you. I always looked at, you know, what I wanted to go.
Right. And you growing up in Charlotte, you know, the west side of Charlotte.
The west side.
You hustling, and I'm pretty sure that you've seen a lot of things.
Right.
What's definitely familiar in a lot of our neighborhoods that's similar is violence.
Right.
And especially gun violence.
Right.
Do you remember the first, if any, an experience that you had with any friend or loved one that kind of lost their life to gun violence?
Man, I can't remember. Like, that was been since we've been about 12, 13. Been seeing, like, niggas get lost, but I never had anybody on my close partners. I ain't never lost none until I was 21. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, we was the ones really out there stepping. You know what I'm saying? So like, I ain't never really take them type of L's. You know what I'm saying? Jail, police really long thing that stopped us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when I was 21, it's the first time I lost somebody close to me, and that was the suicide. So.
And that's big. What can you tell us about that? Like,
it was my 21st birthday. I had been with him, me and Face. That's my brother. We had been, me, Face, and Cuzzo was all together. We had just came back from a good trip. Like, you know, like I said, I was fucking around. We just had a good trip. Came back and was gambling on the game. And it was different because that night I could never beat this nigga. But I won. I think I won like $300-400 off of him at the time. And we was playing $20 hands, $50 hands. So he was just sitting there letting me beat him. Man, I remember him saying, like, we're gonna turn up tomorrow before he left. And then getting that call the next morning and was like, Cuzzo dead, Tracy dead. And I'm like, everybody like, what? What's going on? And we didn't know, we just know he was shot. And they found him in front of a hotel. So, you know, I ain't never told nobody this, but me and my brother, two of my brothers, went and kidnapped his girlfriend. Cause we didn't know, we thought she had set him up. So, and we sat there and like held on to it until they told us it was a suicide. You know what I'm saying? And that was even worse. You know what I'm saying? That was some terrible shit. You know what I'm saying? And this was my birthday. So, you know, that was like, even now, every birthday I still think about that. You know what I'm saying? Every birthday I make sure I'm at home on the day of so I can go visit his gravesite. If not, then I'm gonna make sure that, you know what I'm saying, I go before. So.
For sure. Was there ever any understanding of why he killed himself?
Nah, couldn't figure it out. We was up.
Even to this day, nothing
even
ever.
To this day, we can't figure it out. Can't figure it out. It's like, and it made me realize that you really don't know what nobody going through. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's gonna push him over the edge. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're trying to say maybe he took some bad E-pills or something and just tripped out. We don't know, man. That was a different one. And that was my first close death. And that was hard.
For sure. Speaking of, like, you know, we never really know what somebody's going through. You know, mental health is very kind of swept under the rug in the black community.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? We kind of look at it. I remember growing up, we make it seem like, nah, that's for, you know, rich white people or something, depression or anxiety, right. And we don't know that we are really suffering from it day to day.
Facts.
You being 38 today, having an experience like that, PTSD is a real thing.
Man, what?
You know what it stands for?
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
For sure. The fact that he died on your birthday, correct?
Right.
To this day, you being 38, are you still affected by just the, you know, like, remembering that day, that first day of your birthday? Like, are you affected by that today?
Yes. It's always before celebration it come. I think about that. You know what I'm saying? And I always be thinking, like, I hope bro proud. You know what I'm saying? Because he was real important into my progression. So, you know, that's definitely something I think about a lot. Even not on my birthday sometimes, just certain things.
For sure. Did he have any kids or no?
Nah, he ain't no kids.
Any of his siblings or moms still alive and all that?
Yeah, siblings.
I know you probably check in with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, me and his brother talk every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? But it's you know, it's when something so tragic bond you, sometimes those relationships become awkward because that's what you think about when you're around that person, see that person. So, like, I don't really see or talk to a lot of people
for sure
that was around him like that.
For sure. So fast forward, man, you know, we kind of got definitely a understanding the basis of the early beginnings.
Right.
Of Daoud.
Yep.
Here today, you caught her.
Yep.
One thing I realized, money don't change grief.
No.
You know?
Hell no.
It don't change grief, and it don't change the past. today, in this time where you are today, what was that adjustment like to realizing, okay, because are you familiar with survivor's guilt?
No, I think I am, but.
So basically, like, people like myself, and pretty sure you, by knowing you, come from real traumatic backgrounds that kind of have a different outcome than what's,
What's projected,
like
what's supposed
projected
to be
for us.
Yeah.
You kind of feel a sense of like guilt, like why
Yeah.
me? You know what I'm saying? Excuse me.
I deal with that. I deal with survivor's guilt, and then wanting to like being one of the only successful people that come from like where you come from, and you want to make sure that you can take care of everybody or help them. You know what I'm saying? Or feel like you owe a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like I deal with that a lot.
So what do you do in those moments that you feel like?
Pray and help. I always take it like I'm here to serve anyway. So like if I'm here to serve, then I'm gonna be the best server that it can be. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna help people. I'm gonna pray about it. And if God tell me to keep helping, I'm gonna keep helping. You know what I'm saying? I help people, and some people look at me like I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it probably is crazy, but it was a reason why. And sometimes I don't always understand those reasons why, but I do it.
For sure. And speaking of, where you are today, we know that you are, have your hands on responsibility and, the success of, DaBaby.
Right.
And as the world, seeing the different changes and process of DaBaby, like the physical altercations and stuff like that,
Right.
you being who you are today and having such a close personal relationship with him,
Right.
do you think any of those moments come from any post-traumatic issues or past?
Hey, look, I usually try to stay away from questions around little bro, but
Yeah.
I mean, of course, like everything that we do and undone, and the reason we act that people think is ignorant, or people might think that he ignorant about. Yes, that come from knowing and growing up in a certain situation, certain environment where this is what you gotta stand on it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff don't even be him. It be people coming, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like a zero tolerance of disrespect around him, you know what I'm saying, and his folks. So, niggas just stand on business. That's just sometimes how it go. And he just got famous and people wanted to try him like he wasn't gonna stand on business, and he don't care. You know what I'm saying? He gonna do what he needs to.
100%. So you mentioned like people trying him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that, like I said, you wasn't always where you were today.
Right.
What is those challenges like now when people, may try you, and
Boy,
how do you handle these things?
I'm just not learning how to handle it, and it's with this word that I always knew, but I'm just not understanding the real meaning of it, and it's called grace. You know what I'm saying? And I give grace, and because I've been given grace, so that's how I handle it. Now certain types of disrespect, it ain't gonna fly. But even now, I'm still at a point where I'm just like, you'll need me before I need you. I just cut it. You know what I'm saying? And just leave it there. But yeah, when I'm getting tried by people I love or people you know what I'm saying, and situations, I give grace. So.
You say about people you love,
Yeah, because if you disrespectful now, I know you then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just depends on the city. It just depends on circumstances, where we at, what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's just that. But nah, it's hard for a person that I don't know to really bother me anyway. Only people that can really bother me is people I love. You know what I'm saying? So.
For sure. How do you with the people you love, and I know that it takes a lot of trust around you to be able to have a certain level of security in what's going on.
Yeah.
How do you view trust?
How do I view trust?
And loyalty. What does that look like?
I don't trust people. I trust God. and because good people do terrible shit all the time, and terrible people can do some good shit. You know what I'm saying? So I like my biggest thing is like I can't trust nobody because of situations of feeling like what somebody do, because different circumstances will bring different shit out of people. I done did stuff that I know people be like, damn, I thought this was a good nigga, but I can't even believe he did that. You know what I'm saying? And like, so trust ain't really like a thing. I gotta just trust God and His plan that anything that's happening is gonna happen for a reason. Now, as far as loyalty, you know, it's just, I think you grade that different. You grade it by, you know, a person by person basis. Nobody knows the relationship that you have with a person, so something might seem disloyal to the outside, but they don't know that you and this person had this conversation or did this and talked about this. So I don't never let any outside influences affect how I feel about somebody's loyalty. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, your heart gonna tell you.
For sure. 100%.
And then some people are loyal to you know, for a while and then it expire. Hey,
for sure.
You know.
I see that, like, you know, you have a very spiritual, like, foundation that,
right.
you know, kind of dictates your operation on a day-to-day.
Right.
And such of a, you know, business or space that, you know, you operate in, how do you keep the balance or priority of, you know, remaining, you know, in that spiritual likeness versus, you know, going off in the deep end and, you know, becoming the opposite?
Man, it ain't easy, because I have went off in the deep end and became the opposite and became too busy to make God a priority and stop studying, stop reading, and stop listening to what my spirit say, you know, and start listening to myself, my ego, you know what I'm saying, and start taking credit for what was done when shit, none of it was done by me, you know what I'm saying, it was just done by God. So, and I believe that, and a lot of people, they like, I don't believe in God, I know God. You know what I'm saying? I got a real relationship with God. So, you know, I just, you know, when you got a real relationship with somebody, it is what it is. It's like me and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like, it ain't like if I call you and ask you for something, it's a nigga calling you off a link or, you know what I'm saying, off a gram. It's like, no, we got a real relationship. We got a real vibe. So, you know, I'm gonna definitely, that's how it is with God though. You know what I'm saying? that's my friend. I talk to him. God is in my life. So that's how I stay grounded. And when I lose, and when I feel like I'm losing it, it's God to speak to me through different people. You know what I'm saying? The last time I was tripping, He spoke to me through my wife. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was a beautiful thing to be able to come back and feel it again.
100%, man. And you know, all the challenges and just, you know, lessons that help develop and contribute to, you know, becoming more of a man. Like,
right.
What is one thing that you're grateful for throughout this whole process?
Everything I went through. You know what I'm saying? It's all preparation for whatever. So, you know, I wouldn't be me without what I went through. You know, so everything, even the traumatic experiences, they created my character. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, that's what I created. Everything I went through.
You being 38 today, you know, I gotta ask you this. What are you gonna do to try to better the relationship with your father?
Oh, you want to go real therapeutic on here? That's a tough question, bro. Cause I'm trying to be as honest.
Because you know what's so crazy? You know,
I ain't trying to be politically correct.
Yeah,
I'm trying to just be honest, give you my
because you
truth,
know what's
my
crazy,
story.
right? You know, like I told you, you know, I didn't meet my real father till I was 26.
Right.
And you know, we in the same position right now. You know, like,
right.
You know, after my mother passing, you know, now it's left is, you know, my biological father who just recently passed. You know what I'm saying? Last time we talked, you know, it was me trying to.
Yeah.
But
so I didn't know he
yeah,
passed. Sorry to hear
you know
that,
what I'm
bro.
saying? So, for sure. So what I'm asking you now,
Yeah.
because in a sense it's like, you know, me having a shot, you still got your shot. What you gonna do about it?
You know, that's something I definitely gotta leave up to God. And if He lead me in the direction of figuring out a way to do it, then I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But right now, we cool where we at. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't hold no real ill will towards him. We didn't, you know, I went and celebrated his 60th birthday with him in Vegas. So, you know, we at a point where we'll never be. I don't think we'll ever be on a day-to-day talking, week-to-week talking. You know what I'm saying? We talk 3-4 times a year. I'm good. I'm pretty sure he is too.
And do your mom ever bring it up or just check in on that relationship?
Yeah, she always be like, you call your daddy. She wants me to man and build a relationship with my father. Like she wants that. You know, she probably think it's part of the reasons why I move the way I move on certain things. So she know she couldn't. She know I was out here pulling the wool over her eyes. She couldn't keep me from, you know what I'm saying, being in the streets because she a woman. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, she was a single mom that had to work and put all of that. But like, you know, women can't teach men how to be men. You know, they can teach you how to respect a woman. They can teach you how to love a woman. They can teach you how to be, you know, a lot of things. But only a man can teach a man how to be a man. Like I'm a man. I can't teach a woman how to be a woman. I can only tell her what I feel like is the right. So, you know, I think that's the difference in the two. And, you know, my mama the realest though. My mama the realest. That's all I got to say. She the realest.
For sure. And you know, you evaluating everything, the childhood, the dynamic of the family, the choice of wanting to have a better life for yourself.
Right.
The maintaining of the better life, personal, spiritual, the whole nine. Right. I always ask this question in closing. If you would, and if you could, if you can change anything about yourself, life experiences, what would it be?
If I could change anything about my life experiences?
Or anything at all.
Or if I could change anything at all? Nothing. Everything got a purpose. Everything got a reason. I couldn't change. I wouldn't change shit, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Like I'm a nigga that came from nothing as a millionaire now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to struggle and thug it out to get there, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So, and that ain't me. That's God. So, I can't change that. That'd be disrespectful to the plan that God had.